Is Arkansas a tax deed state? In this video, we're going to talk about, is Arkansas a tax deed state? Now, this is kind of fun. Again, I keep saying that with all these different states out there because there's so many unique things that you find in here, and there's some stuff inside Arkansas that I find fantastic. So you'll see why in just a minute. There's tons of ways to make money in Arkansas. In this video, I'm going to show you how to find the sales, when the sales are happening, what's unique about it, and how you and your family can find financial independence in a little place called Arkansas, okay? So now, here's the nice thing about it. Like, thumbs up, comment, ask questions, whatever you want to do. If you stick around to the end, I got a little bonus for you. Actually, it's a pretty big one. So stick around to the very end and we'll go from there. First off, let's just start at the very beginning. Arkansas is a tax deed state. They have some unique things. They have an annual sale, and it's anywhere between April and December of the year. So that's when the sale is going to be happening. So as you can see, it's like, well, is it April or December? It's April, May, June, July, whenever they feel like actually doing it. So you got to understand, you've got to look at the counties. You got to figure out when their auction is coming up. Make sure you get the list 30 days prior and start doing your research, okay? Now, this is a straight deed state. So when you go to Arkansas and you put your hand up, you become the successful bidder and you win the property. That's the bottom line. Okay, now understand, let's go back to a couple of fundamentals. Okay, you're not taking somebody's property. They didn't come home one day and didn't pay their property taxes for a couple of months and lost the property. That's just not happening. I want to dispel that myth right now. These people have been delinquent a minimum of 4 years, probably closer to 5. They have had dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens, well, I should say multiple times to satisfy these delinquent taxes. And here's the deal. Does the county need this money? Yes. This isn't the federal government. This isn't a state government. This is a little old county. What do they spend this money on? Number one thing they spend this money on is, that's right, education. Okay, 55 to 65% of all property taxes in most states is going to go towards education. And I think we all need education, okay? You got education, police, fire, all of those different things that you have on there. So the county needs this money, so that's also very important. Properties are certified to be a commissioner of the state lands available public auction. So it's kind of weird. The location, write this down, is cosl.org. Okay, so some of them are even done online with that. Now, what doesn't sell at the sale goes to a post auction. Okay, this is a 30-day silent auction. That means you have to go in there and meditate for 30 days. No, that doesn't mean that. That means you making the offer on the property initiates a 30-day process to the highest bidder. Silent means nobody else knows what your bid is. So it goes to the highest bidder on there. Properties that don't sell, they're made available through the post-auction sale process 30 days prior to the end of the sale, and the starting price is set by the county. So you got to submit an offer, submissions. There's a first offer after 30 days. There's a silent auction begins. After 30 days, the highest one receives the property. Now, here's the kicker, okay? The first $100 goes to your fees for it, and you can pay for the property, obviously with the money, cash or cashier's check, but with a credit card, and you can determine later on. You know how I like this. I mean, think about it. You get an airline miles points like my Delta American Express that gives me triple miles, and I get a property. What's not to love about that? So those are some of the things that you're looking at. When you buy it, it's a limited warranty deed that's issued to you on that. So that's kind of the high level on that. But let's look at, now that we're about halfway through this, we can't just go in there and buy deeds willy-nilly on this. Okay, Arkansas, again, there's all these uniqueness. Arkansas is similar to the, Mississippi kind of, which is similar to Alabama, or Georgia, excuse me, which is kind of similar to Alabama, just like you saw in New Jersey and Massachusetts and Connecticut or Indiana Illinois, kind of similar in their areas because, again, they were all in the same area, probably some conversation talking 200 years ago, and that's how you're going. So you're going to see some familiarities, but that's kind of where it stops. One of the things that's crucial is you make sure you know what that particular county does because they can all interpret the rules differently. Very important to understand that. And then you've got to do your research. Look, if the sale is on June 1st, the list is probably going to come out sometime in May, okay? Probably about 30 days prior to it is usually. But, part of the challenge we've had working with the counties and posting lists for our students is we never know when they're going to post them, and they can kind of do them whenever they want. These are kind of guidelines. So if they don't post the list, right, 30 days beforehand, then what do? You got to keep calling back until you get that. Once you get the list, now you got to determine what on that list would be something that you'd be attracted to buying. Okay, for you beginning investors, I want you to stick with single family residential properties, okay? We all know what a single family residential property is. If you know commercial, that's fine. Go ahead and do it. And if you know land, a lot of money to be made in land, don't forget about it. But if you don't know about it, let's stick with single family residential properties. So when you see a property coming up and it's a single family residential property, I need to determine what the value of that property is after rehab value. That's ARV. So all I'm doing, it's a special way to say, so you can't really say fair market value because it's not worth that right now. And so saying ARV determines that this property is going to need some work. Rashawn, how do you know it needs some work? Trust me, it's going to need some work. Whether it's $5,500 or $50,000, something's going to be need to be done to this property. And you've got to always experience or expect, I should say, worst case scenario. So when I'm looking at ARV, I say, if this property was ready to sell condition, this is what it would be worth. How do you determine that? Very simply. I find 3 properties similar in square footage, similar in structure, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, et cetera, and similar neighborhood. And I find 3 that have sold. I add up all 3 of those prices, divide it by 3. That's my average sale price. Then I take those same 3 properties, look at the square footage, add that up, divide it by 3. That's my average square footage. Okay? I divide the average sale price by the average square footage, and that's how much per square foot it's going to run for the cost. So all I do is I take a square footage and I multiply it by the cost per square foot. That's my ARV. It's really close. So let's say it's a $300,000 property and I can pick it up at the deed auction in Arkansas and the opening bid is, $15,000. So then I have to determine how much money am I willing to pay below the 300, not above the opening bid. I got to look at this and say, hey, if I paid $50,000 and it cost me $50,000 to fix up, I'm in the property for $100 and I make $200. That's a pretty good deal. So you kind of look at it from there. Where am I willing to go into this property, remembering that you might have some rehab on that. But look, if I get it for $50,000 and a wholesaler comes up and says, I'll give you $100,000 for it, you could make 50 right off the bat and they would still have enough meat on the bone to make a profit. So there's another exit strategy. Or I could say to myself, hey, I want to buy this property for 50, fix it up for 50 and rent it out for $2,000 or $3,000 a month and have an incredible ROI on that situation. So one of the things I love about tax lien investing and tax deed buying is there's always exit strategies there for you. Now there's a lot to be considering when buying this. You do not want to step on the landmines on there. What if the property is only 15 feet wide and 100 yards long? There's a bunch of different dynamics that can go into that. They can cause you to step in that pile of you-know-what or landmines. I have got a gift for you. That's right, a free online course. This is my gift to you. I think it's some of my best work to date. Okay, so click on the link down below. Okay, it's higginsmethod.com. Click on that link. Fill out the information there. I think you put your name in there, and I will send you out my brand new course, my compliments to you. This will show you A to Z how to make this happen. This is Saen Higgins saying God bless and good luck. We'll see you out there.